The UPSC CSE arena is an ever-evolving space where staying up to date becomes as crucial as maintaining a thorough preparation. With strategic planning and holistic coverage for exam syllabus, Vision IS Delhi presents GS Foundation course. Avail analysis and integration of current affairs with GS syllabus. All India test series with an innovative assessment system, inculcating post-test analysis, discussion, all India ranking, and more. Explore the holistic learning modules intrinsically designed for the ideal aspirant. Completing the syllabus without proper knowledge of current affairs will not take you far in the UPSC Civil Services Examination. Regulate and transform your preparation with complete coverage of news of relevance. Get a concrete hold of current affairs for UPSC CSE with Vision IS Monthly Current Affairs Revision Program starting from 20th September at 5 p.m. The program is your guide to get comprehensive news on one platform sourced through relevant resources such as The Hindu, Indian Express, Economic Times, PIB, Yojana and others. Enroll for complete coverage of current affairs including Indian polity and constitution, economy, international relations and more. Comprehensive assessment of preparation through MCQs and mains-oriented questions. Expert support through personalized mentoring and online doubt resolution.
All right, so welcome you all. So it's going to be third session, right? Fine. So in this session, we'll talk about that what exactly is the role of Indian economy. In fact, this is where I should start. It's not economics. Mostly people say, no, economics is what I have to study for UPSC. It's not economics. It's Indian economy. Indian economy and its position in the world economy, what are the challenges and opportunities. That's why I deliberately wrote the title this way, so that you should understand that it is Indian economy. It is not economics per se, right? For sake of convenience, we can say, economics pad rahe hain that way. So when it comes to economics, you can say this section is something very significant from the prelims point of view. There are some reasons why I'm saying it's very significant from the prelims point of view. You know, these days, if you got 48, 50, 52, 55, at the best 55 questions in prelims right, your job is done. If you see the cutoff is hovering around what? 47, 46 questions net, 46 question, 47 question, 48 question net. And from economics, every year you get some 15 to 20 questions. And trust me, out of those 20 questions, at least 10 to 12, 14 questions are doable. they deliberately ask relatively easier question in economics, and there's a reason for it. In fact, the problem is that if you say that recently a study was conducted by FICCI, only 26% of the people could answer what is budget, what is repo rate, what exactly balance of payment is, what it means when we say current account deficit. Even in you can say around Connaught Place area, the sampling was done at Connaught Place area, only 27% people, well-suited people, only 27% people could answer these basic terms of economics. Now, needless to say, had it been polity, oh my God, it would have been other way around, isn't it? But when it comes to economics, in general, in India, what we have observed, that the economics understanding of the individuals are relatively lesser. Now, you tell me, logically speaking, in such cases, whenever we are drafting question, we should be keeping it simple. That's the reason why in economics, they don't twist the question unnecessarily. Question straightforward. Most of the questions, if you see, that are from NCERT, at least half of it from NCERT, particularly 11th, that is macroeconomics, right? So the questions are kept deliberately simple. When 50 question is a cutoff and 10 you can do easily, don't you think that 1/5 of the job is done? And that's why people might be saying this to you, that without economics, prelims is not possible. It is possible to do, provided you are keeping a few things in mind. If I say that in prelims, what kind of questions they're asking, that can be subdivided. Here I'm assuming that you know the examination as a prelims, a mains, and an interview. So in the prelims, half of the questions you can say, or maybe let's say if there are 20 questions, so 10-12 questions will be about basic terms, basic understanding, whether you're understanding these things or not, and it might be something based on the current affairs, that whatever going on that time. So like even this year, if you see that questions were straightforward, that who make monetary policy, these kind of. So these 10-12 questions should not be wrong. That is the first thing you have to keep in mind. And how that can be done, that is something which should be a priority. Second, when it comes to mains examination, in the mains examination, the GS paper 3 in particular is something half of economics. This time it was 8 questions in GS paper 3, which belongs to economic. And that's why again in GS paper 3, it might sound like bragging, but there are YouTube's links available now. You can see those questions which we predicted. We made a list and how the things turned up. It's not because we were capable. It's because in paper 3, there is predictability. You know that question might be asked from these areas. Question might be asked because there's clear-cut guideline, land reform is there, let's say there is agriculture, food processing, infrastructure, energy, roadways, railway, aviation. So the topic is very meticulously designed, and that's why again in paper 3, scoring 100 plus is possible, is doable, and people do that. If you see last year, though, there was in 2023 examination, there was some, you can say drifting, when students were having average of 90-95, but on an average in paper 3. That's why if you see the mark sheets of very good students, those who are topping the examination, they do good in paper 2 and paper 3. Because paper 2 and paper 3 is predictable. Paper 1 is very open-ended, entire art and culture, entire history, entire geography, and you don't know from which domain they can ask. That's why your strategy should be paper 2, paper 3 should be good. You should score as much as you can, because here there are predictabilities. So in mains also, Indian economy has very important role to play. And these days we are witnessing that even one essay of that nature, what you call socio-political nature, might be asked, where your understanding of economy might be useful and helpful. Having said so, that you can say that Indian economy or the world economy, putting together Indian economy and its role in world economy, this section is very significant from examination point of view. So the purpose of this session, therefore, is to help you that how to excel in this particular domain. So in fact, look, this is what I had given in brief, that how in prelims examination 15-20 questions are there. part of them belongs to terminologies and basic concepts, and part of them belong to current affairs, that whatever is going on that time, And then in mains examination, 50% of paper 3 GS is something which is from economy, and in essay paper you can have something of socio-economic nature. Now, cutting the story short, because I know your time is precious, there are 5 major challenges I have found with interaction of the students, those who have qualified and those who even could not qualify, because obviously they are also a very important input source. There are 5 major challenges which students face when it comes to Indian economy section. So what are these challenges? First, the syllabus, because many a time they don't understand what to do, because economics itself is a world, and if you start reading economics, it may take 5-6 years to finish it. Obviously, those who do BA, MA, they take 5-6 years. So you're not supposed to study the economics, as I told you. So syllabus has to be very precise, that what to read, how much to read, from where to read. That is one of the criteria. Second thing, what should be the source for the economics, that what kind of source I should use, where we should, because again, if you see that there are n number of, look at these things, outside, so many Xeroxes and photocopies are being sold. Do you think anyone can read it? Personally speaking, someone who is qualifying in 22, 23 years of 3 years of age cannot read all these documents. And this examination is not about scholarship. This examination is not about your academic excellence. It's about your better analysis, better understanding. So what should be the source? Third thing in economics which a student often get bothered about is handling current affairs, that how to take care of the current affairs. And the fourth thing, this is something which I have added on my side because I found it to be very significant, very useful. That is called, how should you make your notes of economics? And fifth is that what is the relevance of previous question paper? Should I do it? Should I not? Are they going to get repeated or what? Right. So I'll discuss one by one. When it comes to syllabus, look, here I had given you all these things, and obviously it will be uploaded also. So you can take the printout if you feel like. So UPSC has given syllabus of prelims in one line. That is socio-economic development. And in mains, they had given some topics, they have elaborated some topics. So here I had put all of them together to tell you that what exactly syllabus should be. If you see that first thing from where they ask question is basic concepts, terms, terminologies related to economy, like what are various types of goods, what are various types of services, what is, like this year there's a question, what is working capital, fixed capital, that is something basic again. For this, you can refer to NCERT. NCERT macroeconomics booklet is very good for these basic terms and terminologies. Whatever terms and terminologies given in NCERT, take it seriously. Whenever any new term is coming in the newspaper, like if you know that Indian Express, and now Hindu also started it, Indian Express comes with one thing called explained section, where any new term, any new thing has been explained. So basic concepts every year in prelims, 1-2 questions are being asked, and they're simple to do. Then national income, here we talk about what is GDP, GNP, other aggregates. What is growth and development? Development is another important issue. Development is in terms of inclusive growth, very important from mains point of view. Then what is planning and associated here, 5-year plans, what is the role of Niti Aayog, what was 1991 reforms. There was a famous obviously you will be subsequently reading in your about these things. So that is something very good for mains examination. Money and banking, this topic is very important from prelims point of view. That's why, let's say if someone is coming to me and prelims is just 10 days down the line, he said, I have just 10 days, I have never read economics, what to do? I'll say, at least read money and banking. Because 4 or 5 questions will be done. This year again, 3 questions, straightforward and very doable question. Very doable question on money and banking. So 4 or 5 questions are asked, and very easily one can do 3-4 questions. So very important from prelims point of view. Then fiscal policy, budget, and various dimension. Here we talk about how the budget is made, what are taxation system, and these kind of things. Good for both prelims and mains. Inflation and related index, whatever, what is CPI, what is WPI, what is purchasing power, managers purchasing index, and these kind of things. So again, good for prelims and mains both. stock market and related dimensions. Questions are asked in prelims from the stock market. They don't ask question in mains. Though I thought, to be honest, last year when I was giving the list of the important topics, I thought maybe because LIC's IPO had come, which was a big thing, much awaited thing. So I thought maybe something of that might be asked, but they did not ask again in mains. In prelims they ask. And in stock market you have to know only basic terminologies. You're not supposed to be an investor there. Investment is altogether different ball game. So basic understanding what is going on, like these days you can see that new terms are coming up in the market, that what exactly it means, right? Say for example, that's what I often say, if you're alert enough, trust me, even this year examination, this year's in prelims, at least 3, 4, 5 things were there which were advertised in the Delhi Metro railway station. Let's say you might be wondering these days, Hyundai's IPO, almost everywhere advertised. Take a look, what exactly mentioned there, what is this ASBA rule, and these kind of things. That is what it's about, alertness, how alert you are, whatever happening around you. So they are expecting at least basic things which are in the newspaper that you should be knowing about. Then in the sector, this agriculture, economics and related dimensions are very important. Every year in mains, at least 1 or 2 questions has been asked from agriculture sector, then industrial development and their significance, because obviously they are the job creators. They are the one who create the job. And then what about service sectors, dimensions of inclusive growth and sustainable developmental goal, again from poverty and food security. Again, this year again you got the question on that. So food security, public distribution system, poverty related issues, unemployment and employment generation. This is gaining momentum these days because employment is a big issue these days. So if you say unemployment and employment generation, infrastructure, railway, port, energy, aviation, various investment models. So and then in the international economics, what exactly international nature of the international trade is. What about this balance of payment? There's one thing called balance of payment, the way we maintain record with the rest of the world. What about rupee currency depreciating, appreciating? What exactly is the scenario of India's trade with the rest of the world, where we are doing good, where we can do better? So what is WTO, what is IMF, then what are associated challenges? So this is how we got when we talk about syllabus. I know I'm going fast, I'm aware of it, but the point I want to tell you that I have just said it to you, that which topic are important from prelims point of view and which topic are important from mains point of view. So let's take a quick look again. If you see carefully from sectoral analysis, whatever I had written, they are from mains point of view. They are mostly for mains point of view. That's why deliberately I kept inclusive growth here. They are from mains point of view. These topics are important from mostly prelims, but sometime mains also, like fiscal policy, etc. This time it was expected. It was quite an expected line. Even in classes I quoted it also, because first time we have seen that chief economic advisor and RBI governor, they were on different stance, that whether we should change the repo rate or not. And that's why question was asked that what is inflation and how monetary policy has been effective, and so this was a question, quite predictable question, quite doable, quite easy that way. So the point I want to tell you, that first thing first, very important is that you should know the syllabus properly, because there's a very famous saying, what your mind does not know, your eyes cannot see. So, that's why there are several advertisements, but you are not looking at them. So you should be very careful that what exactly syllabus is, where to focus. NCERT class 12th macroeconomics is very good source. And then any other book, there are standard books available in the market, you can refer to any. But don't miss out NCERT class 12th. Because I don't know, I'm not sure. But you tell me, I hope you're logical enough, you tell me. If, let's say UPSC asks me, I wish, UPSC asked me, sir, why don't you make few questions for UPSC examination of the GS nature, where I will look at? What do you think? I'm going to buy a book from the Karol Bagh or Mukherjee Nagar market? No, I will look into the NCERT, because I know this is the base. That's why it's not a surprising that sometimes even the words overlap. It seems clearly the word has been picked up from the NCERT. So not or overlooking NCERT could be a technical fault. It might not be detrimental for those It might not be detrimental for those who have otherwise done the things very properly. Because obviously that will be repetition, but NCERT you should be reading. And then if for all these things, there is no dearth of material, trust me. Any good material, in fact, if you don't want to go anywhere, just go online. RBI's own website. You go on RBI's website. I'm not going to display it here, but you can you can have RBI app also. There is one app called RBI's app, which gives you notification also. On the RBI website, on the right hand side, all the dimensions are given. That what is monetary policy, what is financial inclusion, what exactly. So right hand side, all the links, just 2-3 pages, that's it. It's at the max 4 or 5 page. That is a very good source. It is both in English and Hindi. So wonderful source when it comes to that, how the RBI functions and what are the dimensions of it. Similarly, the budget app is there. Government of India's budget app is there. In the budget app, the first 3-4 pages of budget is general understanding. And not only that, various organizations are doing it. IMF have one thing called Back to Basics. You just search IMF Back to Basics. This is a very good initiative where people from IMF, those who are experts, they are explaining the things on YouTube in very simple language for those who don't know economics. It has been, because we are trying to change the image of economics. It has been considered to be a very boring subject. It is not. So what they are doing is they are trying to create in a very simple, lucid word that what exactly it means. That's called Back to Basics series. I am hopeful within 2-3 months even RBI will start that also. RBI is all in the final age. The final stage is there where RBI is going to even introduce all these things called simple explanations on YouTube. Basic term that maybe the officials will come and will tell you that this is how it is, this is how, if you could. In Rajya Sabha, we have one thing called Arth Mantra. Sandeep Sanyal had started it. That is also good. So, what I'm trying to say is there is no dearth of resources. The point is, don't jump here and there. Make one resource where you're comfortable and repeat it. Even standard book, Ramesh Singh's book is there, Datan Sundaram is there, Nitin Singhania has written, that is also there. They all are writing the same thing. So any book where you are comfortable, you should try to confine to that material, right? And then here and there, you can see the website also, like RBI's website could be there. But keep an eye whatever new things are coming up. Like you might be knowing a few days back, you got one thing called Unified Lending Interface. In this Diwali, it is going to be visible. We are going to see Unified Lending Interface used this Diwali, where various pre-approved loans and all these facilities are being provided. So keep an eye, keep what is new going on in the digital finance, what is new going on in let's say in terms of technology and so. So this is what is called what should be the syllabus. Second thing is what should be source. That's why I said very important is NCERT. For mains, listen to me very carefully for this part. Like this year, if there were 8 questions, out of 8, 7 questions, out of 8, 7 questions were directly from the economic survey. Obviously, economic survey is a thick document and difficult to read. So many graphs and so and so. So I'm not saying that go and read economic survey by yourself. And if you want to read economic survey by yourself, only read the introductory part. Not those unnecessary technical details. That is not for you. And economic survey is not written for you. It is for those who are from the field. But yes, introductory part could be. However, various organizations, including Vision also provides what is called a brief synopsis of economic survey. And this year we have tried, and we are going to perpetuate it also. From last 2-3 years we are doing it, that we are adding whatever is additional information could be there, like various schemes, charts at one place. Like this year they have asked question about that for on the inclusive growth, what kind of initiatives has been. So we have kept all that at one place. So you can refer to those materials also. For economic survey, reading original document is definitely a delight. delight. But even if you're reading organization like Vision and others, obviously they are also providing these informations. So if you could read that document, that will be very helpful. One thing you must not miss out, and trust me, even I often say, when you're writing mains, before mains also it will be available on YouTube, you should watch. When economic survey is presented, it is presented one day before the budget. That is, it's going to be 31st of January, most likely, or 30th of January, depending upon what is the working day. On 30th of January, when economic survey will be presented, then Chief Economic Advisor, under whose leadership this is prepared, gives a briefing to the honorable parliamentarians, because this is given to the parliamentarians. So he gives a briefing in 1.5 hours, that what exactly this economic survey is, what are the key priorities, and what are the key references we are saying. Don't miss it out, because you are listening directly from the horse's mouth, the one who had made it. And obviously he is briefing it for whom? For parliamentarians, those who are not economists. So the language is kept more simple. Don't trust me. Even I insist, don't trust me. Those who are listening online also, don't trust me. Do this homework. Take this year's paper and listen to his 1.5 hour discussion. Take last year paper and listen to 1.5 hour discussion of Chief Economic Advisor. And you'll be surprised, my God, this striking similarity. Because that will give you domain of areas where you must focus. Like this year he talked about land reform. There was a question on this, because even Prime Minister has said about land reform on the Independence Day speech. So there was, because land ceiling is something which is very important, knowing the fact that almost 89% of the Indian households are now having less than 2 acres of land. So considering this, it is very important that we should have consolidation of the land properly. So he has talked about it. He has talked about that why monetary policy of the SBI should change to control inflation. Food inflation should be kept aside. And the question was, what do you understand by food inflation? What are the causes of food inflation and RBI's policy? So just for the starters. Otherwise, if you see that direct questions are there. So don't miss it out. Before mains examination, you should listen to what he had said, because by that time your understanding will be grown also. So what he is saying is very significant and very good anchor to know where to focus, which topics to highlight. Then any standard book you should be doing, as I told you, that any standard book, they all are less or more same, because these days books are written as Control C, Control P. Isn't it? So I don't know who's doing original writing these days. I'm wondering. But the point is definitely that less or more your purpose is served, because you need a reference book. Any reference book which you think comfortable, which is handy to you, is fine. One very important thing which I would like to give focus upon, and I must say, those students who are potential and those students who qualify, they have one difference only, and that is doing or not doing previous year question paper. In fact, I also know how to bat, but I'm not Sachin Tendulkar. Why? Because Sachin Tendulkar, for 25 odd years, every morning 5 a.m. was there in the stadium to practice. Michael Jordan starts his day with 100 shots each day, then he takes breakfast. Each day, what do you call that? That targeting. There's a specific name in basketball, I don't know, but Jordan does it every day. That's why even if he's sleeping, can throw it right at right, you can say angle. So where the difference is, how many questions you are doing. There are two advantages of doing questions. When you are doing previous year question paper, you will figure out what you're missing out in your general reading. Because when you're reading, you might not understand this is important. And when the question is asked, oh my God, this I missed, this also should be read. And second advantage is, you know which area to focus upon. And third, if you have done questions, quite possible is that question will be repeated, not as it is, but the essence. And when I'm saying doing previous question paper, I'm not saying just only confined to UPSC. You can go to even other examinations also. UPSC, state PCS like UPPCS, Rajasthan would ask good question in economic. So Rajasthan, UPPCS, Bihar, Jharkhand, whatever. In fact, I can give you some quick reference. Rajasthan 2016 asked about GDP calculation method in prelims, and 2021 that was a question in mains UPSC. 2017 UPPCS asked about Bank Board Bureau. 2021 or 22 that question was in UPSC, right? So even energy questions Madhya Pradesh has asked way back. Now that has been asked in your examination in mains in UPSC. Now, for this, I can tell you one thing. There's a wonderful source you can refer to. There's one booklet called Ghatna Chakra. It is in both Hindi and English, Ghatna Chakra, which is compilation of previous year question paper of prelims. So what they do, let's say there is chapter called Money and Banking. So all the questions of money and banking asked in UPSC, asked in UPPCS, asked here and there are being compiled at one place. So let's say you have done your money and banking. You read it. Now try to answer the questions and see where you're doing mistakes, where your guess is working, where your understanding is not clear. And this way you can get a better idea. And that's why, trust me, want to qualify prelims? Do one thing. Do some odd 20,000 questions, job is done. Might sound like a bit weird, but this is how it is. Because solving 20,000 questions is not that easy, let me tell you. And it will take at least 4 or 5 months in that case. But yes, this is what is the most authentic thing, right? So considering this, it is very important that previous question paper must be solved. And there's another advantage of doing previous question paper. The moment you're doing previous year question paper, you also come to know which area is significant. Like let's say you have seen that question has been asked on the civil aviation. Now you are going downstairs and you have seen RCS Udan advertisement is there. Or you know Captain Gopinath has started it. Now the movie has been made, so more people are knowing. Captain Gopinath was the one who was the architect of this RCS Udan. He started Deccan Airways, low-cost air flights. So if you see this way, the moment you have that information in your mind, you can see the news around you. Okay, fine, this is something which is significant. I should take a note of it. So this is the advantage of doing previous. So whatever, if you're reading for 4 hours, I must say, whatever subject, if you're reading for 4 hours, I must say 2 hours should be for, let's say, reading, 1 hour should be for revision, and another 1 hour for previous question paper. And not revising is again another very technical fault. That's why revise is something which is the key word. More revision is something, because first time when you read anything, you just get understanding. Second time, you get analysis. Third time, you're ready to use it. You're ready to use it. So this way, you should be doing the previous question paper. In fact, how to handle current affairs, there are various podcasts, but listen to authentic one, not any Tom, Dick and Harry. Like up to now, you know him. I used to quote him in the classes, Darren, who got Nobel Prize just now. He has been one of the favorite when it comes to podcasts. So Darren, thankfully he got Nobel Prize, and it was very surprising to any of us that way. But he runs, IMF has its own podcast. Even Vision also started one on daily basis. That daily news it is because reading newspaper is very essential, no doubt about it. But reading newspaper all 365 days is not practically possible. Let's be honest on that part. We try, but doing it for 365 days, probably not possible. So podcast could be handy in that case, that you can listen to whenever you're moving somewhere, or so at least you'll get the idea that what is going on. Then we have monthly magazines also, which is, I think, one of the most decorated things. So there is monthly magazine. Then yearly also we get what is called PT 365. PT 365 is the news of the entire year. 365 means 365 days. So the entire year news. Then Mains 365 is there for mains examination. Mains 365 is very meticulously designed, considering requirements of mains in mind. So that must be taken seriously. And even in the mains test series, whatever questions has been asked, that could be very useful. because that will give you a good idea that what is going on in current affairs. So handling current affairs should be what? Again, listen to podcast, read magazine, but read newspaper. Not reading newspaper will be detrimental. It will go against you. And I'm deliberately highlighting it. Not reading newspaper is a technical fault. Like not doing previous question paper is a technical fault. So morning you should start with a newspaper, or evening, wherever you are comfortable, but do read newspaper. And when you're reading newspaper, don't try to mug up everything. This is the mistake. That's why you make it heavier. Just keep an eye. Kya chal raha hai? What is going on around? Don't be so serious that no, I have to mug it up as if this is only going to come. No. Trust me, in the news will be repeated again and again if it is important. Right? But read newspaper. You can skip, let's say, third paper, which is about city news. Third paper, this standard, global standard. Third page, that's why page 3 is considered to be gossiping page. So you can miss page 3, you can miss page 2. Page 2 is extension of the page 1, and non-important things would be there. So at least page 1, international page, and economy page. That is what must be acknowledged along with that explained section. These 4 pages in the newspaper must be read. And if you like sports, obviously, I'm not talking about Times of India. Times of India is more a gossiping gadget. So I'm not saying that they are not giving news, but it's more about it. It is not for you. It is for general clientele who want to know what is going around. Your purpose is better served with either Indian Express or the Hindu, because they deliberately put the news in more organized format, keeping the serious clientele in mind. So this is how you should be managing. Then often a student asks, what about budget, economic survey? I told you economic survey, briefing is good enough, and budget also. There will be briefing provided by various sources, various institutes. Any of it would be helpful for you. Now, here I gave the examples. Let's say they have asked this question. Now the questions are being asked on money supply. So you will take it seriously, that what is M1, M2, M3, M4, what is exactly money multiplier and these kind of things. Let's say they have asked this question about inflation. Now you will be watching what is happening in inflation, what are the factors, and that is the advantage of doing previous question paper. Or even, let's say West Texas Intermediate. This is a gasoline in US, and we are having agreement. So what it belongs to, it is belonging to crude oil. So this is how doing previous question paper helps you to understand that which area I have to focus upon. And while doing question paper, keep one more thing in mind. What is this and what are rest? Why they are not answered? That also you should be knowing. Why they are not answers? What exactly they are? Same, you can say direct question has been on agriculture, food, marketing, what is GDP component, potential GDP component, what are the challenges, opportunities of food processing. Quite predictable domain is there in paper 3. That's why I'm saying economics is more helpful when it comes to this examination, especially in mains. Now this is something which I know I don't consider I'm treating you as a kid, but good students often do a mistake. They are reading and things are scattered here and there. Now you should make your notes proper. And what will be the best way of making notes? I know it sounds childish, but always keep space wherever you are writing your things. So let's say you studied GDP anywhere in your class, self-study, maybe from somewhere, wherever. You did your GDP. Now, take NCERT and say from NCERT, if anything additional, and keep some space, right? Now, let's say tomorrow you got a news, you can add here. GDP, write the date, 12th of this day, this was the news. What is the advantage with this? Whenever you're revising GDP, even that news is also been revised. Otherwise, most of the time what happens? You think, padha to hai kuch. The picture is not clear, it's getting blur because you have read it, say 5-6 months back. This is called recency effect. If I give 10 names, abhi, if I give you 10 names, you will remember the first name and the last name for sure. In between, you may miss out names. Depending upon which fellow is favorite to you or connected somehow, you can't tell all the 10 names, trust me. First and last you will do for sure, and the rest is something. Look, I'm trying to tell you all, those who are here and those who are listening online, that this examination is about being smart, being organized and methodical. It's not an academic pursuit that people are reading and trying to pretend as if, oh, I got all enlightenment now. They are searching enlightenment and smart students are getting it. So understand this point. So considering this, once you have done this, you will see that you are having the revision of not only your topic but also, and before the examination only this should be your source, not going anywhere else. Keep this space available from, let's say, current affair magazine, you got something, you can add it, and so. But always write the resource from where you have read it, so that if cross-check is needed, you can do that. Right? There's another advantage of doing this. As you have very less space, suddenly you will start looking into what I should write and what I should leave. You will get the tendency to identify what is important, keywords. And in this examination, we got just 150 words to write. Knowing keywords are very important. And that will come gradually if you are doing this. So this way, writing notes could be, that's why I said, it gives you recency effect, organized your revision, maximum utilization of resources, help in avoiding unnecessary compilation of information. That you are writing the whole news. You will be knowing only this is something crux which I should write. So this way, I'll say that this is significance of notes. And trust me, those who got selected, they often say, sir, unlike what I thought, I often say economics is like allopathic medicine. It helps when needed. Some subjects are homeopathic medicines. Taste very good. I rest your understand. I hope you are wise enough to understand. So when it comes to this idea that you should be confining to what exactly the sources are, how to read the things again and again instead of reading a number of books, and do more questions on a topic than just revising it. Because doing question will tell you better that what could be, where you're missing out, where you're going wrong. Fine. So this was a little about what should be done in economy. I hope this session is useful for you, and I cut it short, keeping the your time value in mind. But then even trust me, come out of that shell that economics is difficult, because they are not asking you that typical economics of Keynesian. They are simple asking what is called Indian economy and how it's performing. Fine. So thank you, and I hope this session was productive for you.